Hello crafters, Janine here, and it is card making time again. This time I only got 3 cards to show you that I made with this month's Simon Says stamp card kit. I'm sure there will be more card making along the way, but this is what I kind of needed to do for some birthdays that are coming up in my life, my son and a couple other people. So I made this little video while I made these so that you could see how I put these together. Anyway, if you'd like to see how to make these cards, just stay tuned.
The first card I made was the shaker card, and I used some fun foam, some self-adhesive fun foam, and a circle die to go ahead and cut out the opening for the shaker card. And I used 2 pieces of fun foam to get the thickness that I want for my shaker cards. And once I cut the first piece, then I use it as a template as a guide rather, to show me exactly where to place the circle die on the next piece of fun foam, and then I use it as a template again to show me exactly where to place the die on my decorative paper that's going to be the front of the shaker card. And so I cut all of that out. And you can't see it that well in the video, but that decorative piece of paper that's going to be the background is kind of a snowy scene, and it's a Melody Lane digital paper design, and I'll put a link for that below. But then I just cut a piece of scrap acetate that I had left over from some packaging, and I adhered that to the back of the decorative paper that's going to be the front of the shaker card. And I got a little bit of goo on the front of the acetate, but I'm going to show you how I fix that later. Then I go ahead and adhere the background design for the shaker card onto the back of the fun foam, and then I put all of that onto the card base, and I rubbed the inside of it with some embossing powder, trying to reduce the static cling and stickiness of the inside of the fun foam where I cut the circles out. And then I just added some tape, some 2-sided tape, to adhere the paper to the fun foam. And now I've got my shaker all built. And to add the decorative elements, those little dots you see me placing on the left of the card are to cover where some of that goo from the tape got on the acetate, and I couldn't get it off. So that was a nice little... Sometimes necessity is the mother of all invention. It causes you to create things you wouldn't have ordinarily thought of, and I ended up liking that little decorative element. And if I hadn't have gotten the tape goo on the front of the acetate, I probably wouldn't have put that decorative element on there. So it ended up working out really well. And then I put some of the snowflake stickers from the set and the little husky dog from the set. And now for my May May Made It stamp set, I used a sentiment because I thought it went so well with this kit from Simon Says Stamp. It says, "There's no one like you," and I just thought that was precious. And then from another May May Made It set, I stamped "Happy Birthday" on the inside of the card, because it is a birthday card for my son. He likes snow globes, so I thought that he would like a shaker card, because it has that kind of thought process of a snow globe. So that's the completed card. That's the completed shaker card. And I thought it came out really cute. I think it was my favorite of the bunch. This next card is for a friend of my son's, and I tried as hard as I could not to make it girly. I tried to make it a guy card, but sometimes that can just be hard to do, I think, in card making, because as crafters we love to embellish. And here I took some of the snowflakes from the stamp set that came with the kit and just stamped them in a white pigment ink down the side, because that was the only part of the card base that was going to be showing, was just that left side. And then I just started piecing some of the paper elements that I cut out for this project. Again, I was trying to keep it simple and not too much, you know, since it was for a guy, but again, I have a hard time holding back when it comes to decorative elements. And then on that white piece, I'm just stamping out the another snowflake and "There's no one like you" sentiment, like I used on my son's birthday card. And both the "There's no one like you" and "Happy Birthday" were from May May Made It stamp sets. And then from the Simon Says stamp set, I used snowflakes and then those swirly lines to kind of show the the floating path of the snowflake. And then I just started using my tape runner to tape everything down. And at this point it would have probably been just fine for a boy, but again, I don't know when to stop, so I used some of the snowflake sequins that came with the kit, and I used some matte clear glue. It dries clear, and it's matte when it dries, so you can't even see it. It's really awesome. I love it. And still not being satisfied, still having to do more, I put some of the sparkly tape from the card kit on there, because to me it just looked too plain, and this is where I think it went too far. But I hope he's understanding of it. And that's the finished one there. The next one is one that I did for my niece. I used some white cardstock, and just with a pencil just kind of drew out some wavy lines to represent hills in the background, and decided how I liked their placement, and then erased my pencil marks. And I used some silver pigment ink to ink the edge of the hills, because I thought it would really define them and make them stand out and give them a little bit of shadow, and I'm glad I did. I really like the effect. And then I decided to use the husky dog and one of the little Eskimo girls, because my niece loves dogs, and she's just really sweet with animals. And again, with my tape runner, I just taped everything down. And the cinnamon I'm using is from the Simon Says stamp kit, and it's sending you flurries of love, I think is what it says. So I really want to like really go over the top with a snow flurry in the background. And you can see here, I started with a white pigment ink, but I didn't like the way it was looking, so I switched to kind of this turquoise pigment ink. And I did second and third generation stamping, because I really like the look of it, to get the different depths of color in the stamping. And I think I pulled one of the, or two of the May Made It stamps, snow stamps from her Snow Peaking stamp set into that as well. And then on a scrap of paper from the other card that I made is where I stamped the cinnamon, and I used black memento ink for that, because I really want to make sure that that cinnamon stood out against the background. And then I used one of the little swirly, floaty dotted lines from the kit, just to kind of emphasize that flurry thought process. I think it says sending flurries of love. And then added some more of the swirlies to the other parts of the card. After it was all said and done, I wished I'd kind of thought about that before putting the snowflakes down, but it was too late at that point, so I just worked with what I had. And then again, I stamped happy birthday on the inside of the card. And again, I had a smudge of some kind of adhesive on the left inside of the card. So to disguise it, I decided to do a little bit more stamping. And honestly, that part of the card looked so blank, it needed a little something, and this was just the perfect. I used that really big snowflake and the really big swirly on that part, and I thought that was just absolutely perfect. And there it is, all finished. Or almost. Of course, I had to add a few more embellishments and some of the snowflake sequins. And I used glue dots this time because it was quicker. I didn't have to wait for anything to dry. So cute.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun making these cards. I tell you, especially the shaker card. I really like making shaker cards, and since I started using Fun Foam to do them with, I'm just so much more pleased with the overall result. The finished look of the product, it just makes all the difference in the world to have that consistently colored and sized edge all the way around, so that you don't see the mechanics and the foam building of the shaker card. So I just really like the way this one came out, but they were all so cute. I tell you, Simon Says Stamp does a beautiful job of putting elements together to make coordinated cards that are cute. Everything works well together. The materials are of an excellent quality. I mean, the cardstock itself is always nice, heavy cardstock. The stamps, the decorative papers, everything is just always wonderful to work with. And it's so easy to get inspired when you have such wonderful materials to work with. Well, anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for staying through to the end. I appreciate you, and I appreciate if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and come back for more videos. I try to post a new video at least once a week. Mostly it's twice a week, but Mondays and Thursdays are the days that you generally see new videos. So come back for some new videos every week, and have a blessed day.